Hey everybody, welcome to Cara's Cucina, and on this channel we encourage everyday people to live healthier by inspiring them to cook delicious food at home. I'm Cara Di Falco, and I'm so excited for my guest today, my good friend Andrew Cotto, author of many books, but we're talking about his latest book, Cucina Romana. I am so excited to have you back here with us again. Tell us what we're making today.
First of all, thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to be in Cara's Cucina. And what we're making today is a classic Roman pasta called carbonara.
Pasta carbonara.
Everybody knows it, but not everybody knows how to make it in the traditional way. So we're going to go our motto, our traditional way, as it's done in the book.
Very nice.
And then we have a surprise for later, another additional cuisine addition to our endeavor today.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait.
I know, me too.
Andrew, I'm so excited. So this dish, I feel like, is really having a moment in the pandemic for summer. Like everybody's running around making carbonara this year, in the past year so far. And what I love about it is, ingredient-wise, it's a very simple dish. It's really more of a technique thing in getting, in terms of just kind of being able to get it done and get it right. So, but it's guanciale, which is pork cheek.
It's hog jowl, right?
Yeah.
So, pork cheek, hog jowl. You say pork cheek, I say hog jowl. Same thing, right? It's the jowl
Tomato.
the jowl of hog, which is more traditional in Italian cuisine and a replacement, really, an improvement, I will say, over pancetta.
Yes.
Not because we diss pancetta. Pancetta's fine, right?
Pancetta
but this has
is lovely.
more fat. You can see the layers in there of the fat. There's a streak of meat, right? And then it's cheek. So cheeks are fatter than pork belly.
Than pork belly.
Right. And it adds a depth of flavor to it you don't get elsewhere.
Yeah. And then it's eggs. And cheese.
It's bacon, egg, and cheese.
It's really, it's the perfect. We're doing this early in the morning on a Sunday, so this is definitely going to be like breakfast/brunch for us, kind of a thing. But it really makes this, like, if you ever craved pasta for breakfast, this is it.
Oh, it's the best pasta. It's breakfast pasta.
It's absolutely breakfast pasta. Okay, so you are going to start by getting our guanciale.
Yes, so this is the guanciale chop. You should cut it into matchsticks.
I was gonna say, we did matchsticks here.
Yeah, this is a great amount of guanciale. This is about 4 ounces.
Okay.
Right? And the portions here are really quite simple, right? And let's say we're making a pound of pasta. We're gonna be making half a pound because just for you and us.
Right,
you and me. And the ingredients, though, the quantities that you're making a pound is really for 4 people. Sorry, it's simple. It's a pound of pasta, right? It's 6 egg yolks or 4 egg in their entirety with the whites, and about 1/4 cup of pecorino romano per person, per egg. So it's a really simple recipe to remember because it's so easy. We got the heat going here.
Yeah, we got some heat going there.
We're gonna add guanciale into the pan. We're gonna render it, right? Our heat is low here. We're not frying the guanciale, right? We are rendering it down.
All right, so we'll lower this a little bit then for you.
We're gonna let that fat sort of melt off it.
Okay.
And then it will also cook in its own fat, and we're talking a lot about fat. I'm getting very excited. Speaking of carbonara, right, and the pandemic, I know it's amazing how much of a renaissance carbonara has had during the pandemic. I think people are putting on carbonara 19s instead of COVID-19s because they're eating so much of it, and I think a lot of that has to do with the way we're changing the way we eat during the pandemic, which is seeking out things that provide us comfort.
Comfort food, and I mean, and really, what's more comforting? So, and this is a classically Roman dish, and the legend, if you will, behind this dish is that it developed in Rome after World War II, when the American GIs were there and they had bacon and eggs in their kits.
Yeah.
And they kind of started tossing it with pasta, and but Stanley Tucci's also having a moment right now.
I heard that.
I was going to say, they said actually no, that's not the case. That this was a remake of pasta alla gricia, which is just the pasta and the guanciale.
Right.
And someone thought to make it a little creamier and throw in some eggs, or it was something along those lines. So do you know I'm kind of throwing you on the spot here.
Sure. I mean, Stanley Tucci doesn't know what he's talking about. No offense, Stan. There's always theories. What I heard and what I understand it to be multiple is that actually carbonara comes from the word carbon. Like the coal miners in Rome used to make this for their lunch. Because it's simple. You have a piece of cheese, you have some eggs, right? You whip it up with a little bacon, and that they were the theory I ascribe to is that they got those ingredients from the American GIs who were there because it was part of their ration kits, right? And I like that theory because it means that the Americans had these ration kits of bacon, egg, and cheese. The Italians like, let's make pasta, right? So they took it all and they put it together, and they made one of the world's best pastas. And
Yes.
which I think is the essence of what makes Italian food so spectacular, is that it's simplicity.
Yes.
This is 3 ingredients, 4 if you count the pasta.
Yeah.
And it's spectacular because it all works so well together.
It really is. If you haven't had carbonara, it really is such a great dish. And
real carbonara, not what you get at some of these chain stores where they're putting
Yeah.
cream in it and etc.
yeah, again, this is one of those things that, and I think I get this question a lot with risottos, where people are like, oh, do you put butter, do you put cream? And I'm like, no, you don't understand. The ingredients themselves create that texture without having to add those things. So it really is, it's like, don't have to add a whole lot.
No, and one of the magical things about this is one of the key ingredients here that makes it so creamy is the pasta water.
Yes.
Right, again, another beautiful Italian sort of innovation is that the water, when pasta's cooked in it, after it's cooked in it, has starch in it, right?
Yeah.
Because the pasta's a starch. And that starch, you add the pasta right into the pan, as you'll see, right?
Yes.
With the water on it. There's no draining, right?
Right.
There's dishes you drain. Right? You want,
yes.
But there's others that you want to incorporate the water from the cooking into the sauce, and that adds a creaminess to it because there's all that starch in there.
Yeah.
And you'll see how it works.
Any chef I've ever worked with has always, this is the pasta water is a really underutilized kitchen tool, kitchen ingredient.
I think it's one of those things that restaurants know and that home chefs mostly don't. Right?
Yeah.
Restaurants are taking their pastas often, it's ready to go. They're taking the pasta out of the boiling water right into the pan, and then that emulsification that results from that provides that thing that someone when they're eating at a restaurant says, I don't get this at home.
Yeah.
What are they doing? And that's always the key, I think, to restaurant cooking is all those tricks.
Yes. Absolutely. How am I doing on cheese here? We need a little more still?
Yeah, more.
We need more? Okay.
And this is one of those things also, so I said a quarter cup of cheese per person, but that's not science, right? It depends on how much salt is in the pasta already or in the water. And we're gonna see as we go along, and one of the things we're gonna demonstrate is lots of tasting. It's part of the job, right? But you have to taste your food. I know, sorry. Work. You have to taste your food as you're eating it. People make something without ever tasting and present it to someone and waiting for them to say if it's good or not. I know if it's good or not already.
Right.
Because I'm tasting it along the way.
Because I tasted it along the way.
And I'm sure you're the same way. That's probably enough. All right. Easy. We're gonna have to put some more eggs in there. That's a great amount. Look how beautiful that is too.
Yeah.
And this is, again, not to be a stickler, this is Pecorino Romano, right? Not Parmigiano and not American Parmesan. Right? Pecorino Romano, not because we're being provincial here and that's the cheese of Lazio, where Rome is, but because this is a more tangy, salty cheese, right? And that's going to we need that for here. So
yes.
So Parmesan works great in other dishes, but Bolognese, etc. Right? But we want Pecorino Romano.
Okay.
Preferably grated right into it. Well, if you want to get it out of the canister too, we'll still be friends.
That's right. I'm going to ask you to hand me that whisk because I'm going to mix this up now, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, while I'm mixing, so the whole reason we're doing this dish, and it's a Roman dish, is because over the pandemic, you have written the follow-up to Cucina Tipica, which I love. That was my vacation last year, was reading Cucina Tipica. I was so engrossed in it. I think I finished it in, under a week. And I'm so excited. I haven't actually been. You just brought me my copy today, so I'm so excited to read this. But I get the idea here. What is the gist of Cucina Romana? Sure.
First of all, thanks so much. And the fact that if you didn't like Cucina Tipica, I'm in the wrong business. So I'm glad that you did. Thank you for that. That's like the perfect amount of cheese.
Yay!
So Cucina Romana is the sequel to Cucina Tipica. And Cucina Tipica, this character in America who's disheartened, goes to Italy on holiday. He has a great palate, loves to eat, had never been to Italy before. He gets there and decides, I'm not going home. And the reason he doesn't want to leave is because he just loves the simple lifestyle he can enjoy there, at everyday, privilege, at everyday prices. Right? It's not a privilege there to live well; it's a right to eat well in Italy, and that's really important to him. And there's a sense of wellness that he gets from that, not just such a great meal. And it's because eating well every day, makes our lives better, right? In myriad ways. And he decides that the life he wants to live is one that he can practice and enjoy in Italy. And obviously, as a spoiler alert, he gets to stay.
Yes.
There wouldn't be a sequel, if he wasn't able to stay. In the sequel, the same characters, right? There's a crew of expat and a crew of Italian locals, right? Who are great. They travel down to Rome for some business. The reason he's able to stay is because they purchased this hotel in town, and of course, doing business in Italy, is about as hard as it is as it gets, right? Like the food is this good in Italy. The bureaucracy is this bad.
Yeah.
Right? They're equal parts. Right?
Yes.
So they go to Rome in person to try and get their business taken care of. And while they're down there, they discover some potential ancestry. And I won't give more away, but that's where the adventure part of this is. Again, I always have to add the stipulation. It's not the Da Vinci Code kind of adventure, right? There's no car chases and
there's no mysteries. Well, it's a mild mystery, but it's nothing.
It's a little mystery. The Pope is not in danger.
Right?
He's safe. Papa's safe. But they do find their way all around. So it's a great tour of Rome, right? And a great eating tour of Rome. So this one takes place about half in Tuscany and half in Rome, and it has a really, I think, a magical ending, which most importantly lends itself to another title in the series, which I'll start writing very soon.
Oh, I cannot wait.
Yeah, they're going to go to Amalfi Coast, I believe.
So are we in October, turns out.
Are you?
Yes, the Cucina trip looks like it's happening.
That's great. I might be there around then as well, because I have to do research, people's work.
I tell you, it's a tough life.
Gotta pay the bills.
So where can folks find the book? I know it's available on Amazon.
The book is available everywhere. Of course, Amazon sells it, and of course, Barnes & Noble sells it. You can order from them online, but also your local bookstore can order it for you. And I really encourage supporting local bookstores. So if you walk into your bookstore or write them or call them and ask them to get this title, they'll be able to find it in their system. It's nationally distributed. It's also available in Kindle and in paperback, of course. And you could also buy, if you want direct copies from me signed, you can write to me through my website. I'll be happy to send those off to you as well.
Awesome, so good. So I will definitely get you guys a link to the book in Amazon in the description below as well. And Andrew has given me a copy that we are going to give away to you guys. So for that, you want to follow Andrew on Instagram, follow me, and we'll explain everything on Instagram as well. But just make sure you get on there, and we'll put together a nice little package, including the book for you guys. So you can win one, you can buy one. We got a lot going on.
Yeah. All fun stuff.
Yes.
So the guanciale is rendering down. You can see this. Right?
Yes.
I got the heat really low. So the fat part is rendering, and the meat part is cooking in that. So it'll be a little crispy.
Yes.
Right? And we're going to save some of this fat for the end too. Just do a little bit of gilding the lily. We'll anoint at the end. Right? Can't waste that cheek.
No. Okay, so our water's boiling. So I'm going to get at least half of our pasta in here and let this, because that's full semolina pasta, so it's going to take a minute to cook. In the meantime, though, our guanciale finished, so we separated it. So we put the cooked meat just in one little dish, and then you actually pulled out the fat from it too.
Sorry. The best finger food in the world.
It really is. But we saved all the fat as well.
Yeah, so we separated the rendered guanciale from the fat that came off it, because just not to be just to be saving all our fat. But you can make potatoes out of it, etc. We're going to use it to anoint at the very, very end.
Okay.
Some folks like to keep the fat in the pan and put the pasta from the water into that to absorb, and then into the bowl. And I find that's a little bit too much heat, and you run the risk of taking that hot pasta and making scrambled eggs. Right. So in this case, we're going to go from the water to the bowl to make sure we have a creamy sauce, not scrambled eggs.
Yes.
If you do get scrambled eggs, though, just put a little hot water in there and it will unscramble.
I was going to say, I've done that before. It's still delicious that way. It just doesn't look quite as pretty. Is really what it comes down to.
Yeah, and that creamy consistency also is important too to this dish, right?
Yes.
You want that feel in your mouth.
And this is probably one of the very few pasta dishes that don't actually go from one pan into the other pan. You want it into the not cold, but the room temperature bowl.
I mean, many people these days are making their pasta in the Italian way, where they take it from the water into the pan and they finish it in the pan, right?
Yes.
So let's say it's al dente is 10 minutes, you cook it 8. Right, and you finish it so it
Blast
absorbs the
two
sauce.
in with the
like
sauce.
a matriciana, right? I've always finished that in the tomato sauce, right? And when the guanciale as well, right? and onions, that's really good. That's next time, all right? And that requires that. For this dish here, we're going to cook this about 1 minute short of al dente, right? And just let it finish in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is a semolina pasta, dried pasta, so it's going to take about 7 or 8 minutes to get that.
And you want to use a dry pasta here. You this is not a fresh pasta dish, right? You want to use a dry pasta, just also because it will create this starchiness in the water we're going to get from the dry pasta. And your pasta matters, right? Your brand of the dry pasta you buy does matter. So.
Do you have a preference? People always ask me.
I like Garofalo.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you like?
Just in terms of store-bought, I think widely popular. De Cecco does a good job. There's another one that is specifically from Abruzzo, which is the region of Italy that my family's from, that I like very much. It's a little more difficult to find.
Martinelli?
No, I think it's called rustichette.
Okay.
I gotta look for the label again.
It's an important thing that I know we're so used to buying our pasta off the shelves in the supermarket, and like whatever one is cheapest or whatever, Ranzoni, etc. But they do make a difference, and there is really good dried pastas that are finding their ways into more and more stores,
yes.
right? And the price difference is so nominal, right? But find the ones you want, and they differ. Some have more salt, some have more starch, so it's important to pick your pastas carefully, and that really is the key to Italian cooking. It's the ingredients. So we're talking about a simple process here, right?
Right. And a handful of ingredients.
And a handful of ingredients, right?
And that's why it's worth it to make sure the quality is at the highest level.
If the quality of the cheese, the quality of the eggs, even, right? I mean, I'm guessing you got these are organic eggs.
They're from the farmers market.
They're from the farmers market. That makes a difference,
yes.
right? So you want to really choose your ingredients very carefully, because that's what really is the essence of Italian cooking. It's the simplicity, of course, but the quality. And one of the things we love about Italy is that the quality of the food there is just from the north to the south.
Yes.
Right? You're getting really high quality ingredients because they wouldn't imagine not having such.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, Andrew. So our pasta is just about cooked. Just show everybody give that a little movement for us.
We whip the egg yolks and the cheese together, right?
So that's nice and thick. That's I want people to kind of.
It's like a zabayon. And it's ready to go. And this is all stuff you do ahead of time. This is perfectly room temperature. I'm being careful not to put it on top of the burner I was just using, because then we'll definitely have scrambled eggs. Okay? So we're going to take the pasta. No, she's not going to drain the water. She's going to let it go straight in there, right? And quick, in little bits at a time, little pieces at a time. I'm tossing it over. I'm blending. If you do it too fast, it will get runny. If you do it too slow, it will get scrambled eggs. This is looking great. Right? We're going to do another handful.
I gave you a lot that first time.
Yeah, it's okay. Good. One more if you got it.
Yeah.
Then you're going to hand me those tongs, please.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
No problem.
And this is how you do it. You're turning, right? Like you make cacio e pepe. Like you do, this is blending, right? Like you do that fancy, plating device these days where you make a little tornado of pasta. Every time I try to do that, my mother slaps me in the arm.
What?
Serve the pasta, right? you don't have to
just
make it fancy.
put the pasta on the plate.
Yeah. This is looking great.
It looks beautiful.
It's perfectly coated, and this is how you want your pasta to be. You want whatever it is, you want it to be coated perfectly. There's equal amounts of noodle and sauce. There's no stuff at the bottom,
right?
And none of it's eggs, right? Great. So we have our pasta ready to go. We're gonna plate. I'm not gonna do the twirly thing.
You can do a little twirly.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. These are TV portions, people.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna be making more afterwards.
We're gonna be bobbing for it afterwards. That was sloppy. Sorry. That was the home chef in me right there, not caring how it looks. There we go. Now what we're gonna do here, if you could put them down.
Yes.
And where we can see on the camera, I'm going to
do a little reach.
Taste it. It needs a little more cheese.
A little more cheese?
Yeah.
We got that.
Right. Now I'm gonna make a little nest in the middle. Good. That one's mine.
That one's yours. It is.
I'm gonna take a nice big spoon of the guanciale and put it in that nest. A little sloppy. There, we can mix around.
Oh, beautiful.
And then we're gonna gild the lily.
I love this.
With a little bit of, and I'm not gonna put my elbow into that boiling pot of water.
Yeah, try not to.
With some of this fat, right? Just a little, not too much, just a little.
Just a little.
Okay.
Gorgeous.
This is like someone might do with like olive oil at the end when you're anoint. We're anointing with hog fat.
And why not?
And there we go. So we had, well, last step, of course, this is carbonara. Carbon, right, is pepper, black pepper. And it matters, right? Your black pepper matters too. You want to use, cracked black pepper if you can. Nice amount right there. And there we have perfect carbonara.
I am so excited. Okay, I was about to dive into my carbonara when you busted this out. What did you bring me?
Oh, it's a present.
What is this?
So at in each of the two books, the Cucina books, there's a big meal at the end, right? I mean,
Yes.
there's meals throughout.
There's
but
meals
a major
throughout.
meal at the end. In Cucina Tipica, it's cinghiale ragu.
Yes.
Right? In Cucina Romana, it's porchetta. Porchetta is a Roman specialty. It is pork belly, rolled, seasoned, and slow roasted 8 hours. Right? They serve it at a food trucks there
Yes.
in Italy. Everywhere you see, and through Tuscany too.
Like
but-
highway stop.
Highway
Yeah.
stops, but it's mostly known as a Roman dish, as it should be, where it originated.
Yes.
And it's beautiful. This is one as a gift to you. From our friends at ALC Alimentari in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn.
Oh, my
They make it every
goodness.
Saturday, right? So you see the pork skin here, and you see the pork interior here,
Wait, I wanna
right?
smell it.
And it's stuffed with rosemary and sage and salt and pepper and slow roasted. It's just unbelievable. And the really cool thing about it is the sound when you cut it.
Oh my gosh. This
It's
is,
so crunchy. And then you have this beautiful inside, full of, I call love. So this is a gift for us to enjoy today after our carbonara.
After our carbonara. I am so excited. Thank you. Oh wait, this little
You're
piece.
very welcome. Again, it's from our friends at ALC Alimentari in Bay Ridge, and you can find it around the New York City area these days, or mail orders from other people too. Look it up, Porchetta, Porchetta.
I love it. Thank you so much. All right, grab your dish, guys. I know you're all salivating. I'm dying. My stomach is growling. This looks delicious. The recipe is, of course, at caradifalco.com. The book will also be at caradifalco.com. I will hook you guys up with a link. But as Andrew said, if you want to support local, you can always ask for Cucina Romana in your local bookstore. Thank you so much, my
You're
friend,
very
for coming
welcome.
and hang out. I so appreciate it.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Salud. Thank you, guys. That's it for this week in the Cucina. I will see you next time. That's so good.
Perfect.